Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. My name is Acacia. Today we're going to be doing the mid-month wrap up for June. What? No, how did that happen? I don't even know. Alright. Alright guys, let's actually do this wrap up thing. I've read 7 books so far this year. No. This month. Wow. I've read 7 books so far this month. And all of them were pretty big. And 5 of them I was sent for review. Actually, that's not bad. I feel okay with that. I feel very okay with that. I was contemplating moving my fan over here so that it was like directly facing me, but like, meh. It's a lot of effort, and then I'm going to have to move it back. And start with our first book, Foxlow, by Eleanor Wasserberg. Holy crap. Like, I don't know how to explain to you what happened in this book in terms of, like, goodness. Like, there was, okay, so really, really wonderful. Really loved it. Really will read it again. But it's not going to make it on my list of favorite books of all time. And I will tell you why. Everything about it was great. But I haven't been stuck thinking about it since I finished it. Like, I finished it and then I moved on. It took me a while longer than I wanted to finish it. I thought I was going to whiz through it. And I really don't feel like I did. I didn't feel inclined to pick it up when I had a free second. I had another book that I was really inclined to pick up. Oh, I forgot my other book in the car that I finished. Nah, we'll just move that on to the next wrap up because I don't really care about that book. Anyway, yes. Here's the deal. If you like the idea of cult fiction and cult ideas, like if you like cult stories, this is really wonderful. I myself have a severe fascination with cult rituals and ideas and how people get into cult societies and things of that nature, how people get into cult culture, because there's this element of many lost souls coming together. But I'm going to be doing a cult psychology and book recommendation video soon, so I'll talk more about this in depth there. If you don't have a strong stomach for child abuse, this may not be for you, but it is part of the cult nature in this book, so it's a toss-up. I do recommend it. It's definitely, you need a stronger stomach for it. I think you need a stronger stomach for all the books that I got read through so far this month. Is Plaything by Alex Phoebe and Paul Schubert. This is the story about Paul Schubert. I enjoyed this book. I think it was really wonderful. I think it set out to do something very important, which was to discuss kind of the abysmal and dark and despairing aspect of mental illness and paranoia. I think it did that. I think it was really a wonderful book, but I think I've read other books that do what this sets out to do better. This is the true study of a gentleman who was an original case study for Freud, which means that it has a lot of kind of underlying aspect of human nature, as well as a really baseline initial entryway into psychology. So in that, it is very important, and I think that if you really like psychology history, but you're not really a nonfiction person, this is a good place to begin. I would like to read the true story and not a fictionalized version, if that makes sense. That would really be something I would love to get my hands on, but I did love this book at the same time. Does that make sense? I really liked it. I enjoyed it, but I would have liked the true version instead of the fiction version. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. The other book that I read was Hang Kang Human Acts. This I will never forget. I finished it the day of the Orlando shooting, and for those of you who have read it, you know why it hit me so hard, and for those of you who will read it in the future, you will know why it hit me so hard. I liked The Vegetarian better as a story, but this one will never leave me because of the day I read it or finished it. The next book that I read, It's All in Your Head, and this is stories of psychosomatic illnesses. I plan to do a full in-depth review on this. I was sent this book and Playthings for review by the Wellcome Book Prize in England, and it is a medical book prize, and I am so grateful and so excited to be working with them, and this was the winner, and I can see why. This is all about psychosomatic illnesses, and it talks about the history of psychosis, it talks about the history of hysteria, it talks about the idea of feeling crazy and feeling bad and feeling awful about yourself because you're ill, and things going weird, and how the body works and how the mind works and how the mind and the body sometimes don't work together. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. If you have time to sit down and read a nonfiction that you want to sink your teeth into about mental or medical history, this is brilliant. So then there's this one. This is The Hospital Always Wins by Isa Ibrahim, and this is sent to me by Chicago Review Press. I requested it from them. It's amazing. It's the memoir of a gentleman who is African American in the 1980s, and after his father's death, he starts to just kind of descend into madness, which causes him into a psychosis state where he accidentally murders his mother, and this goes through the trials and tribulations that he faces after the murder, where he is escorted into a mental hospital, and the treatment and mistreatment of him occurs, and his overall success and recovery given to him by art, and the drug-filled phase of his life, and all these other beautiful, wonderful story. This is just a story of hope and beauty and wonderfulness, and such a different twist for me, because I've read so many memoirs of white people with mental illness and so many white women with mental illness. I am so happy to have gotten a black man's perspective on the mental illness world and the mental illness community, as well as the treatment of patients in the mental world. I am very excited, and this has caused me to start getting more aware and to look maybe more for women of color in the mental illness world, because I think that would be fascinating. I definitely recommend this. If you can find it to pick it up, do so, because it's amazing. This baby took me forever to get through, because one, it's so beautiful. Like, it's the most beautiful book I've ever seen. There's a map and a... Hi. Oh, okay. This is Wolf Trial by Neil McKay, and this was sent to me by Freight Books, and it's amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's haunting, and it's dark, and it's terrifying, and it's terrible, and it's awesome, and it was the first serial killer's trial held in Germany, but tried as a werewolf, and oh my god, going into it knowing only that was so much better for me than anything else I could have done, because oh my god, guys, read it. If you like horror, I didn't sleep for like a week. It was so good. And then last but not least, The Sunlight Pilgrim by Jenny Fagan. This I also adored. I really liked it. I think I will probably buy a physical copy when it comes out in hardcover or paperback. I'm really not sure. But I really loved it. I think it had a really interesting concept. It's about a gentleman and a transgender teen. It focuses more on the gentleman's life, but the transgender teen does have a great amount of time. The transgender teen's name was Stella. She is a wonderful character, one of my favorite characters I've ever read in terms of a teenage mind and bullying and aspects of that. Her mother is such a strong character and definitely flawed, which made her even more wonderful. The main character, Dylan, I enjoyed, but I really wish that the whole book had been about Stella, because I just connected to her way stronger. Dylan is in the wake of a tragedy where his mother and his grandmother have both passed away, and he has had to leave his childhood home due to a disgruntled bank, basically, and the world is in chaos going into I believe it's like a long, I believe they call it like an apocalyptic winter, basically. So global warming has taken over the world. It's 2020 and the world is about to go into severe chills, and like the winter is supposed to be so harsh that you may not survive. And it's about a group that has a small little cul-de-sac area of trailers all trying to survive the winter and how they do that. And it's got a little bit of folklore in it, a little bit of folktale, a little bit of love, a little bit of magical realism, and a lot of community. So there you have it, folks. Those are my books that I've read so far in the month of June. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do have several books going at this point, but this video is long enough already, so I will tell you about those in another video, and I will see you soon.